When a retired special ops soldier gets pushed around by cops until he can't take it anymore, what happens next? Terry was trying to save his younger brother, who was locked up in jail. But on the way, two police officers stopped him and straight up took the money he needed to bail his brother out, his brother's lifeline. Terry swallowed his anger and didn't fight back because getting his brother out was the only thing that mattered. When he got to the courthouse, nobody cared. The staff coldly told him, no money, no deal. Even when Terry showed proof that the cops had seized his bail money, it didn't change anything. With no other options, Terry called a restaurant owner he'd worked with before and explained what happened. The owner agreed to help, but said it would take a few days to get the cash together. That night, Terry had nothing. No money, nowhere to go, so he camped by the river. For a retired operator, roughing it like that wasn't new. What he couldn't understand was how he'd risked his life for his country and ended up like this. After figuring out where the police station was, Terry decided he wasn't just going to let it go. The next day, he walked into the station to file a report. The same cop who stole his money looked shocked to see him.
You're gonna need to leave. I'd like to finish up. False police report. What's your signature on that?
But instead of taking him seriously, the cop threatened him for filing a false report. Then the police chief stepped in and told Terry that someone like him, suspected of being involved, should be punished by the law, and that letting him stand there and talk was already being generous. He warned Terry that if he came back and harassed his officers again, he'd be hit with serious charges. And then the chief got even nastier. He ripped off Terry's recording device. That's when Terry realized the truth. The chief and the cops were all in on it. That whole department was rotten to the core. Left with no choice, Terry tried to compromise. He said he only needed $10,000 back to bail his brother out. You can keep the rest. The chief acted like he was doing Terry a favor and told him, come back tomorrow at 9 a.m. and you'll see your brother. But Terry didn't know it was a setup. The next morning, Terry showed up and the chief didn't keep his word. Instead, he'd already transferred Terry's brother to a state prison.
We pulled up our schedule
Hold on. You said I could see him.
at 9 a.m. And 3 minutes later.
Terry was furious, but he didn't have time to waste because that prison had someone his brother had real beef with. If they crossed paths, his brother wouldn't survive. Terry managed to catch up to the transport van and see his brother, warning him to keep his head down and promising he'd get him out as fast as possible. What they didn't know was that would be the last time they ever spoke. When Terry got back, he called the restaurant owner again to lock in the money like they'd agreed. But then he got hit with another punch. The chief had already sent people to shut the restaurant down and freeze the owner's accounts. Now the owner couldn't even pay his employees. That's when Terry finally understood the chief's game. Letting him see his brother was never about kindness. It was to buy time and dig into Terry's background. One dirty move after another, the chief kept pushing Terry closer to the edge. But Terry isn't the kind of guy you can corner and expect to break because he's...
I think he's on the Wikipedia page. Teaching jujitsu to 6th Marine Regiment.
Okay.
One mind, any weapon. Yep.
Chief, distance between you.
Let's not do that.
Hey, hey, hey! Fuck away from me.
Okay.
After taking the two cops down cleanly, Terry went straight into the police station. He forced a female officer to tie the two men up, then made her take him to their vault. Inside, he found not only stacks of cash, but also enough guns to arm 100 people. Even then, Terry didn't grab everything. He only took back what was his. Then he had the female officer help him stage a setup, so it looked like he never did any of it, and he walked right out of the station. His next stop was the courthouse. He handed the money to the lawyer, and the judge, once the cash was on the table, immediately stamped the paperwork and sent it to the state prison. But right then, several cops showed up at the courthouse.
Did you hurt someone?
Yeah, they broke the skin. Think you get out?
Down on the fucking ground! Down on the ground! Get down on the ground! Hands to your hands! Here we fucking go! Don't you move! Hands on the ground! Down!
Tell the chief I said.
Get down! Give me your hand!
When Terry came to, the chief himself drove him to the hospital. After what happened the day before, the chief knew Terry wasn't some ordinary guy. So he gave Terry all the money back, even handed him a car. But then he dropped a brutal piece of news. The same day Terry's brother was transferred to state prison, he was stabbed and left critically injured.
I told you.
The chief told him this wasn't the time to point fingers. Terry had two choices: take the money, get in the car, and leave town forever, fight them, and end up facing 30 years in prison. But when Terry finally saw his brother again, his brother was already dead. The next day, completely crushed, Terry decided to leave. On the road, the lawyer, who grew up in that town, told him just how corrupt the place really was. She said she became a lawyer in the first place so she could protect her family. A police car tailed them the whole way, only turning around once they were out of town. But the department wasn't done. Next, they went after the woman who'd been helping Terry. Late that night, the lawyer woke up and heard something outside her door. Then she found a syringe in her sink. When she looked at her arm and saw a needle mark, she knew immediately this was the cops. She panicked, didn't know what to do, and the only person she could call was Terry.
Terry.
And Terry didn't hesitate. He turned the car around and headed straight back to town to save her. The moment he got back, he ran into a patrol unit. This time, nobody wasted words. That night, Terry quietly broke into the police chief's house and threatened him, forcing him to spill the hard proof of their crimes. The chief was scared for his life, so he talked fast. No fancy tactics needed. Terry followed the lead to the police station basement and successfully grabbed all the evidence of the department's corruption. But just as he was about to leave, he realized the lawyer had been taken. Terry floored it and rammed his car into them. And at the same time, he grabbed a cop and took him hostage. Then the chief called. They agreed to trade hostages at a place called Rebel Ridge, but the police had already locked that area down with heavy backup. When the time came, Terry didn't show up. The chief tracked Terry's location, only to find the hostage cop sitting in the car, while Terry himself was already sneaking in to hit their base.
Get on the radio.
All units, be advised.
Once Terry got into the station, he shot the chief, but didn't kill him because Terry used rubber bullets. By then, the cops rushing back had surrounded the station. After collecting even more evidence, Terry turned himself into the state police first, then asked the black female officer to work with him again and buy him time. After learning the truth, she decided to stand on the side of justice. She walked Terry out and tried to transfer him directly to the state police. But the cop who had caused Terry's brother's death was determined to kill Terry. At that moment, a cop who had never taken part in the corruption stepped in and stopped him.
All right. Step back from the back.
Hold on now, Ed. We wrap this up here now. Let it play out.
We're sworn officers.
It's a gift. We got her on a legit B&E, ties it directly to the fire. We'll get commendations for putting a hole in this motherfucker together. Hey, do not point your weapon at me!
Right then, the chief came out and instantly dropped that good cop to the ground.
Sorry, Ed. God damn it. Listen up now. We can't turn on each other. That's the way this whole goddamn thing works.
Terry used the chaos to grab that cop and run. They took cover behind a car. Now the real hunter started fighting back. But Terry still couldn't bring himself to kill everyone. In the end, he took the rest of them down and drove out of town. But during the chase, the cops shot out his tires. More units closed in fast, and Terry's car was quickly surrounded from all sides. And just when it looked like he was finished, that female officer showed up.
Looks like you'll be shot. We got a ticking clock here. Give it another go. We'll all do it myself.
In the end, the chief got slammed and his face was covered in blood. And what waited for him was the justice of the law.